So welcome. Today we are going to have a look at Adobe Audition, and it's one of the software programs which is available in the Creative Cloud suite. So if you are a Creative Cloud member for Adobe, you get it as part of your package. And it's very, very easy to use. We're going to just do a quick recording, and then we're going to have a look at how to edit that audio so that it all sounds very good. We're going to get rid of some of the pops just by a little bit of old-fashioned sort of shoe leather editing. So here we go. I have opened Adobe Audition. Looks like that on the bottom of the screen. And we're just, all we did is we set up a new multi-track session. So I have that open right here. And when you're ready, you first have to check your audio, and I go down to System Preferences. This I do every time I record a new voiceover, just to make sure that all the media is working properly, and make sure that my microphone is on and that it is recording properly. So I have my System Preferences open. I'm going to double click on Sound. I'm going to look at Input and Output. Output doesn't matter because that's what's coming out at me, and that doesn't matter. I'm looking at what's going in. And I have my microphone selected. I like to push up the volume a little bit just to make sure that everything that I am speaking into the microphone is really getting in there as good as possible. I have my microphone selected, not the built-in microphone, but I have an actual external one. If you don't have an external microphone, consider getting one if you are doing voiceovers or podcasts and such. So that's all done. I'm going to close this off now, and we're going to just record something very quickly. Here's the record button at the bottom of your screen. You have this little player here, and here I go. So I'm starting to record right now, and as I'm talking you can see these lovely wave patterns starting up. That's a good thing. That's how you know that this is working. So we're going to turn it off by clicking on this little record button here, and now we're done. We have this thing set up. So I'm going to just pull these windows together so it looks like a more normal wave pattern. And the first thing I do is go back to the start of it, and you can see that the header, this little yellow guy, tells me where I am. So I'm going to press play and have a listen. Here I go. So I'm starting to record right now. And as I'm talking, you can see these lovely wave patterns starting up. Now you can hear, as we're going along there, a couple of pops and a couple of little breaths. Like here in between, if you select this with your mouse and you play it, you hear something that we want to get rid of. That's a breath intake, and we want to get rid of that because we don't need it. It doesn't sound nice and kind of ruins the flow. So the way I get rid of these little intakes is I go over to Effects, Amplitude, and Compression, and I'm going to amplify. In this case, I'm going to de-amplify. So this little window pops up. I'm going to just bring it down about 5 or 6. I don't want to get rid of it completely. I don't really have to. I just want to take it down so that you hardly hear it. So now when I press play, starting to record right now, and as it doesn't really bother us anymore. It's down to the point where it's kind of not an issue. So I'm going to do all of those the same way. I'm going to just select those little spots where that are between two sentences or two words, and I'm just going to do the same thing to all of those and get rid of. Here's a particularly nasty one. This could be I don't know, some other kind of pop. Yep, we're going to get rid of that one too. Just go to amplify, de-amplify that, and off we go. Now, we can go ahead and do all of them, but the one I want to really focus on here are the pops, because those are quite annoying. If you don't have a pop filter, then you get that quite often when you have hard consonants like P, T, St. You often get those kinds of breaks like this. Wave pattern starting. You hear that P pattern? So we're going to just go right here. You can actually see it on the wave pattern. And you can actually see it right there when it's popping. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this little area here so I remember where it is, and we're going to take it, magnify it as much as we can, and that's using these buttons right here. we're going to zoom in on this thing, and we're going to get rid of it. So we're going to get zoomed in, zoomed in, zoomed in until it's very selectable. And this is it right here. This is the pop, and you can play it.
Pattern starting up.
It's just this little.
That pattern starting up.
It's just this little bit here. And if we get rid of it by pressing delete,
a lovely wave pattern starting up.
It's gone. So that's how I get rid of all that. I'm going to go through and find maybe one more.
Here I go. So I'm starting to record right now. And as I'm talking, you
can hear there's another pop right there. So we're going to go zoom in on this one here, do it just one more time so it's really, really clear. This one might be a little bit more difficult to find because it was in the middle of a word. But you can already see that distortion. A nice smooth voice pattern should look like a little, kind of a little caterpillar. But if you can see this kind of funny little distortion here, that's something that you probably don't want. That's going to be like a sound. So we're going to listen to that real quick, and I'm going to put it on loop so we can hear exactly what we're dealing with. And that's it. That's that yucky sound that we want to get rid of. Yeah, that click. So we're just going to select it. Make sure you don't take any of the nice fuzzy caterpillar, but we only go with that yucky sound. We're going to select it as best we can, and we're very zoomed in here, so you probably won't have too much trouble selecting it. Hit delete, all done. Now we're going to play it again.
And as I'm talking, you can see
As I'm talking, looking good. Now we can go on like this all day long. Now I'm going to click on this to zoom all the way out again. We can go on like this all day long, but you get the basic idea of deleting certain things that are not pretty. And then you have a nice, smooth voiceover. I see another one here, right there. That's a little click. You can hear that. I'm going to just delete it. And it's as easy as selecting it and deleting it, and you're done. So I'm going to select this whole thing by saying Command A, sorry. And I'm going to save this part as, we're going to export it as an MP4 file. You can export it into a whole bunch of different things. I'm going to just go straight to the desktop here. I'm not going to do a WAV file. That's sort of not what we do anymore. Generally, the best way we do things nowadays is MP3. That's very universal. It can basically be used for just about anything and imported anywhere, even ringtones. So you can record yourself ringing the phone, and that is cute too. So that's all it is. Now you can go ahead and change your bit rate, and bit rate has to do with the quality of the sound. If you're loading this for web purposes, then you probably want to go with a low bit rate or bit depth. I'm going to use this for, let's say, a video cast, voiceover, so I'm going to go with a high bit rate there. You can select mono or stereo. That is going to affect how large the file size is. I like stereo, so I'm going to go ahead with that. This is going to affect how large the actual file is. You can go really, really high up with this the sample rate, and that is going to make it very high quality indeed. So we're just going to say OK to this. I'm going to name it as my file. In this case, I'm calling it blah blah because that is really what it is. And there we go. It's compressing it a little bit, and it is saving it straight to my desktop. And there we have it right there. Double click on it. There's my MP3, and I can listen to it into iTunes, or I can export it as I like. It is a finished file. So thanks very much, and come join us on a few other tutorials. Bye now.